Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and by now we all know that I love the Queen. I guess you guys do too if you're watching this video. Queen Elizabeth is reportedly personally worth around $530 million, which actually is a fair amount of money, but that is nothing compared to the total wealth of the crown. Here are the top 10 expensive things Queen Elizabeth owns. Coming in at number 10, we have her wardrobe. Over the years, the Queen has amassed a wardrobe to die for. She is particularly fond of Lorna handbags, which cost between $2,000 to $4,000 each, and she has dozens, if not hundreds of them. Her style is iconic, and some of her more famous outfits toured the UK in an exhibition to mark her 90th birthday in 2016. I wish I'd been there to see it because I love the Queen's fashion. Her favourite designer is Norman Hartnell, who created her wedding gown. Many of her gowns have been embellished with jewels, and each dress is worth tens of thousands of dollars each, with some in her wardrobe being worth close to the millions. From her glad rags to her stamp collection at number 9. The Queen has one of the world's largest stamp collections. Stamps can be worth a pretty penny. Now, stamp collecting has a fancy word. Collectors are called Philatelists. Queen, if you're watching, let me know how to pronounce that, thanks. The Royal Philatelic collection started with the Queen's grandfather, King George V. He famously paid £1,400, so around $1,800, for one stamp in 1904. Today, that kind of money would be worth around $200,000. For one stamp, oh my god. But of course, yes, that is just one stamp. King George V had 328 books of stamps. Wow. The royal household now has 6 stamp collectors looking after the Queen's inherited haul full time. The overall value of this collection is worth millions. Coming in at number 8, we have the Yoruba Throne. This intricately designed throne was given to the Queen by the people of Nigeria in 1956. The throne is a sign of status and wealth in Nigeria, and while it may not hold the same market value as some of the Queen's jewels, which we will talk about later, it is still a priceless work of art. Also worth noting, the Queen owns an elephant gifted to her by the people of Cameroon in 1972. Another strange and very expensive gift given to the Queen, at number 7, we have a tunnel boring machine. I mean, fit for a Queen. Used to create London's latest transport triumph, Crossrail, the Queen has been gifted one of these $15 million machines. Her tunnel boring machine is one of a handful in the world, and it weighs 1,000 tons and is 500 feet long. The Crossrail line has now been called the Elizabeth Line after Her Royal Majesty, which I think is really nice. Okay, it's time to get serious from here on in. At number 6, we're talking about the Queen's sweet rides. That's right, here come the cars. The Queen is in possession of a number of extremely pricey vehicles. She tends to ride in her Bentley State Limo, which is both bulletproof and bomb-proof. She's got 2 of those, by the way. She also has a number of Rolls Royces, a snazzy 1984 Jaguar, a 2001 Jaguar, a 2015 Range Rover LWB Landaulet, and her favourite car, the Land Rover Defender. Her car collection is thought to be worth $12 million. Coming in at number 5, we have something that the Queen does not own yet, but could be in the pipeline. We have a $128 million yacht. The Queen still owns the now decommissioned HMY Britannia. However, it was taken out of service in 1997 and now serves as part of a museum in Leith, Scotland. In her time, the ship travelled over 1 million nautical miles around the globe. In the past 20 years, the Queen hasn't had her own active ship, but that is set to change with plans for a new Britannia, the cost of which will be 100 million British pounds. Wow. Former London Mayor Boris Johnson is fully behind the plan, suggesting the money be raised privately. He also pointed out that the yacht's predecessor brought in £3 billion worth of trade between 1991 and 1995. Now, I am all for the yacht, but only if the public get to name it. Free Boaty McBoatface, this is your chance to shine. Coming in at number 4, we have the largest private art collection in the world. The Queen has some truly priceless pieces amongst her 7,000 paintings, 30,000 watercolours and drawings, and 500,000 prints. What is a lady doing with 500,000 prints? Some of her artwork is on public display at Hampton Court Palace, Windsor Castle and Holyrood House. Much of it is owned by the Crown itself, but the Queen does own swathes of it personally, including a vast collection left to her by her late late mother. Some of the works in her collection include pieces by Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, and Van Dyck. Coming into number 3, we have property. Of course, the Queen's main residence is Buckingham Palace, but she also personally owns Balmoral, a sprawling Scottish mansion worth $150 million. She also privately owns Sandringham, reportedly worth $65 million, and Gatcombe Park, priced in the low millions. On top of that, as Queen, she claims Buckingham Palace at $3 billion, as well as Kensington Palace, Holyrood House, Windsor Castle, St James's Palace, Clarence House, and many more smaller residences. Blinging it up at number 2, we have the crown jewels. Queen Elizabeth owns more than 300 items of jewellery, including 98 brooches, 46 necklaces, 37 bracelets, 34 pairs of earrings, 15 rings, 14 watches, and 5 pendants. Blimey. She has been known to remark that when in full regalia, she looks like a Christmas tree. The most impressive of the crown jewels are the tiaras. We've got the Burmese ruby tiara, the Vladimir tiara also worn by the late Princess Diana, and the George VI sapphire tiara. And then we have the Kokoshnik tiara, which on its own is worth $500,000. The Queen also lays claim to the Cullinan diamonds, formerly a diamond of 3,106 carats, but now split up into several pieces, collectively worth $5 million. A lot of the crown jewels are available for public viewing at the Tower of London, but the Queen also has a jewel vault the size of an ice rink under Buckingham Palace. The crown jewels collectively are worth billions, although they do not all officially belong to the Queen, but rather the Crown. That being said, she still does personally own millions and millions of dollars worth of jewelry. Finally, at number 1, we have land. The Queen's property is one thing, but her land is entirely another. Now this really shocked me, but the Queen is actually the biggest landowner in the world. She reportedly lays claim to 6.6 billion acres of land, which is around 1/6 of the world's Earth's surface. This is because she lays claim to entire countries, although let's be totally honest, her ownership is pretty unenforceable. It's like me just claiming I own the 7 seas and being like, a tax upon you if you wish to sail upon them. Does she really own them? I don't know. Nonetheless, if you want to put a price tag on this amount of land, it comes in at around $33 trillion. Sure. So that was the top 10 most expensive things owned by our mate Queen Elizabeth. Personally, I'd be all about that sweet stamp collection. Give me the stamps. So guys, were you impressed with this list? What would you most like to own out of the Queen's collection? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also let me know if you want me to make more Queen videos. I'm always up for it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm Rebecca Felgate. If you liked it, make sure you give it a good thumbs up, share it with a friend who loves the Queen, and stay subscribed for more top 10 videos. I'll see you next time.